This is the intriguing story of Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba and one of China's most influential business leaders. His recent disappearance from the public eye has sparked widespread concern and speculation about his well-being. Some have even gone as far as suggesting that he's been detained or imprisoned by the Chinese government. However, the truth is still shrouded in mystery. The events leading up to Jack Ma's disappearance highlight the risks and challenges facing entrepreneurs and business leaders in China, especially those who go against the government's political agenda. China's history of cracking down on individuals and businesses it perceives as a threat to its authority has led to a wave of arrests, detentions, and disappearances of prominent business leaders, activists, and intellectuals. Jack Ma's experience is a cautionary tale for anyone doing business in China. While the government's support can be beneficial for entrepreneurs, it's crucial to approach the relationship with caution and be mindful of the risks involved. Ma's example also underscores the challenges of operating in a system where political power and business interests are deeply intertwined. As we explore Ma's rise to fame, from his humble beginnings in poverty to becoming one of China's wealthiest individuals, we'll also delve into his criticism of China's banking regulations and the CCP. His remarks accusing China's banks of having a pawnshop mentality and stifling innovation and progress didn't sit well with the government. The fallout from his criticism was swift and severe, with the suspension of Ant Group's initial public offering, the largest in history. But why did Jack Ma disappear? Was he detained by the CCP, or is he simply laying low to avoid further conflict with the government? We'll explore these questions and more in this video. Join us as we unravel the mystery of Jack Ma's disappearance and discover the lessons that can be learned from his story. Jack Ma was a prominent figure in China's business world, and his story is a tale of rags to riches. He was born to an ordinary family in Hangzhou, and his parents worked as performers in the art of traditional musical storytelling. Despite his humble beginnings, Jack Ma was a determined individual who eventually became one of China's most successful entrepreneurs. However, his success was not without challenges, and his story is a cautionary tale of what can happen when you cross the Chinese government. Jack Ma criticized China's banking regulations and, by extension, the CCP, during a speech at the Bund Financial Summit in Shanghai. This was seen as a provocation by the Chinese government, and it marked the beginning of the end of Jack Ma's career. He became a powerful enemy of the Chinese government, and he hasn't been seen in public. Many people are questioning where he is, and his disappearance has become a topic of concern in the global media. The tale of Jack Ma's rise to fame and subsequent disappearance is a cautionary one. It shows the power of the Chinese government and how useless capitalism can be in the face of raw political power and an unjust system. It also shows how important it is to have free and open access to information, and how suppression and demonetization of content can affect the spread of important news stories. To understand how the Chinese government disarmed and dismembered the legacy of Jack Ma, we first need to understand the billionaire and his empire. Jack Ma had humble beginnings, and his success was based on his ability to capture a crowd and paint a picture with just his words. He was never academically inclined or well put together, and it took him 3 years to pass the country's toughest test to get into college. However, he eventually started an internet startup named China Pages, which served to create web pages for businesses. This was the foundation for Alibaba, which aimed to be a bridge between Chinese factories that had cheap goods and buyers around the world. The idea was a success, and China became an open market for inexpensive goods that could be manufactured in its industries. Nevertheless, the Chinese government's enforcement actions against Alibaba and its subsidiaries, including Ant Group, proved to be a humbling experience for Ma and his company. It was a clear message to all entrepreneurs and business leaders in China that the CCP was in charge, and no one was too big to fail or too powerful to escape punishment. The crackdown on Alibaba was a warning shot to all businesses that the Chinese government had the power to control and manipulate any sector of the economy as it saw fit. It also sent a message to the rest of the world that China was serious about enforcing its laws and regulations, even if it meant punishing its own biggest companies. The case of Jack Ma and Alibaba highlights the delicate balance that exists between the CCP and the private sector in China. While the Chinese government has allowed the private sector to flourish and become a driving force of economic growth, it has also maintained a tight grip on the sector, using various regulatory tools to control its growth and behavior. The CCP has always seen the private sector as a potential threat to its rule, and it has taken steps to ensure that it remains under its control. The recent crackdown on Alibaba and other tech giants in China has sent shockwaves through the business world, raising questions about the future of innovation and creativity in the country. China has long been known for its vibrant startup scene and innovative tech companies, but the government's recent actions have left many wondering whether this reputation is at risk. Critics argue that the government's heavy-handed approach to regulation and control could stifle innovation and discourage entrepreneurship. With the government asserting greater control over the tech sector, many fear that it will become increasingly difficult for startups and small businesses to thrive. This could lead to a brain drain of talented individuals and companies as they seek more favorable conditions abroad. At the same time, there are those who argue that the government's actions are necessary to ensure stability and security in the country's rapidly evolving tech landscape. With concerns about data privacy and security on the rise, the government has taken steps to assert greater control over the flow of information and the use of personal data. While this may be necessary to protect citizens' privacy and security, some worry that it could also stifle innovation and creativity. One of the key challenges facing China's tech industry is the relationship between government and business. In many cases, the two are deeply intertwined, with government officials holding significant sway over the operations of tech companies. This close relationship can be a double-edged sword, as it can provide valuable support and resources to startups, but it can also lead to conflicts of interest and challenges in navigating the regulatory landscape. Despite these challenges, there are reasons to be optimistic about the future of innovation in China. The country's large and growing market, coupled with its highly skilled workforce and supportive ecosystem, provide fertile ground for startups and entrepreneurs. Furthermore, the government's recent push to develop new technologies and industries, such as artificial intelligence and green energy, suggests that there may be opportunities for innovation and growth in these areas. China's rise as an economic powerhouse has been nothing short of remarkable, with its GDP growth averaging at around 6% over the past few years. The country's consumer market has also grown rapidly, with an expanding middle class that is expected to reach 600 million people by 2022. This presents a massive opportunity for companies looking to tap into this lucrative market. However, doing business in China is not without its challenges. One of the main obstacles that foreign companies face is the complex and ever-changing regulatory environment. China's legal system is often opaque and difficult to navigate, and the government's policies can be unpredictable, making it challenging for companies to plan for the long term. Additionally, the language barrier, cultural differences, and lack of transparency can create barriers for companies trying to enter the market. Despite these challenges, many companies have found success in China. For example, multinational companies like Coca-Cola and Nike have invested heavily in the country, adapting to local tastes and preferences while navigating the regulatory environment. Even small and medium-sized enterprises have found success by partnering with local businesses or focusing on niche markets. One company that has navigated the challenges of doing business in China successfully is Starbucks. The coffee giant entered the Chinese market in 1999 and has since become one of the most successful foreign companies operating in the country. Starbucks has adapted to the local culture by offering tea-based beverages and hiring local staff. They have also invested in the local community by opening farmer support centers and sourcing coffee from Chinese farmers. Another example is the Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba. Despite facing regulatory challenges and criticism from the government, Alibaba has continued to thrive by adapting to the local market and diversifying its business. The company has invested in new technologies like artificial intelligence and has expanded into new markets like Southeast Asia. In conclusion, the story of Jack Ma and Alibaba serves as a powerful reminder of the challenges and opportunities of doing business in China. Ma's rise to fame and subsequent disappearance highlights the risks and complexities of navigating China's unique business environment. The crackdown on Alibaba and other tech giants underscores the government's increasing focus on regulation and control, which may have implications for innovation and entrepreneurship. However, despite these challenges, China remains a dynamic and exciting market with enormous potential for businesses of all sizes. The key to success is a deep understanding of the local culture, politics, and regulatory environment, as well as a willingness to adapt to changing market conditions. By learning from the lessons of Jack Ma and other entrepreneurs, we can better navigate the challenges and opportunities of doing business in China and build a brighter future for ourselves and for China as a whole. Thank you for watching this video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights and updates on global economy, business, and entrepreneurship.